All right, so good evening, everybody, and we hope all is well. Hold on, let me eliminate some of this feedback. Good evening, and thank you for everybody for being on. We are in a unique technical space. Hopefully, everybody on Facebook and YouTube and all across our normal virtual campuses can hear me. If you can hear me, put some thumbs up, some hearts up to let me know that you can hear me. As we are here tonight as best as we can from home, kind of. There we go. If y'all can hear me, just continually put some hearts up, some thumbs up. There we go. I was about to say, I thought y'all left me for a second. But thank you for being on tonight, and what we hope will be a enlightening conversation, at least for a little while, in reference to how do we reimagine and revision things happening at Lee. All right, y'all are giving a whole lot of thumbs ups, so I take it that you can hear me. We are a little bit out of sorts because normally we are handling this from from the church, and obviously many of you know we've got a pretty good setup from a technology aspect from the church, where we're kind of able to literally broadcast across multiple platforms seamlessly. And so tonight is a little bit challenging, as you can see, for those of us joining us on Facebook and on YouTube, kind of doing this from home, and don't necessarily have all of the attributes of technology that we would like to do from home. And so we're going to try to do the best we can for the time that we have together tonight, as we talk about how do we reimagine and revision us as a church continually moving forward. So again, if you have any difficulties with hearing me or seeing me, just put some thumbs up or put it in the chat, and I'll be able to see it. I have the conference call line on via my telephone, so y'all can actually see that. Normally we actually have that already patched in again to what we do here at Lee, but tonight we're kind of working from the home studio, so hopefully everybody on the conference line can hear me as well. So thank you for that. Somewhere, Reverend Tamika is moving around the home campus a little bit. She'll drop in a second and say hello. But let's open up with a word of prayer, and then we'll be able to get started once again for the time that is ours to share tonight, as we begin to lay seeds, lay a foundation for how we as a church congregation begin to move forward in light of what we are clearly calling this new normal. So let's pray. Eternal Father, we're thankful that you've given us another day. You've given us another day of life. You've given us another day to walk and to breathe and to talk and to communicate and to be in love and charity with one another. So we thank you for this opportunity, God, to gather tonight as a church family just for a few minutes as we begin to seek your guidance, your direction, your Holy Spirit, as we look forward to continually doing ministry as a church body. So we thank you tonight for those that have gathered on Facebook. Thank you tonight for those that have gathered on all of our various platforms. Thank you for those that are gathering on, even now on our conference call line. And God, we rebuke any difficulty, any errors in technology. We rebuke the devil from jumping up in our streams or in our internet, on our phones, so that we might at least be able to be on one accord. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. All right, so thank you for doing that. Now I'm going to check. Can everybody on the conference call line hear me? Can everybody on the conference call line hear me? All right, so I was a little bit further away. So this is the challenge, again, that we have in doing it this way. And so let me start here. And I think this is probably a great place to start as we're talking about ministry, as we're talking about trying to develop an easier way, a better way, a more excellent way, if you will, of doing ministry at Lee Memorial moving forward. Even without COVID, so I want to open up tonight, even without COVID, it is important that we begin to utilize technology as an avenue, as a highway, if you will, for us to do ministry as a church. I think one of the things that is going to be clear, even after COVID, the ability to meet virtually, the ability to be able to message and to interact and to engage across the various spectrum of the internet are going to be important. And so our ability tonight, if we were going to understand anything as a church, we are going to have to begin to utilize this virtual space in season and out of season. That means we're going to have to all get acclimated to it, adjusted to it, find the means by which we will have this opportunity to engage. Ultimately, we would like to be able to push people to Facebook, to YouTube, to our website, so that we don't even necessarily have to use the conference call line. So as many of you are seeing me right now with the phone holded up, we want to push and move our membership, our supporters, our friends to a space where you'll just ultimately be able to not even have to be on the phone, but can utilize your phone as an instrument by which, if you press a button, and we're working on the church app, all you need to do is hit the church app and this broadcast will come up right on your phone. And so again, this is going to be a space where for the next 31 days, we're going to be asking and engaging our membership to take the extra steps of moving forward in technology. I know some people aren't necessarily in love with Facebook. I know that is true. But begin to figure out ways, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or Periscope or Twitter, of how to take a step forward to better engage and interact in a virtual space with your church. Another way is that many of us have gotten accustomed to this in the professional space and even in our personal space of Zoom. We're going to need to, as a church, begin to operate more in a Zoom framework. I want to thank the media ministry who has enabled us. We'll be able to soon be able to actually Zoom worship, actually take worship and put it on a Zoom platform as well. But for those that are joining us on the conference call line and things of that nature, we want to be able to move our people to when we gather like this to be able to do Zoom. And I want to thank the trustees, the stewards who already do that, gathered on Zoom. And Zoom isn't only a video option only, there is a audio option for Zoom as well. And so take time over the next week or so in your spare time to get acclimated to Zoom and how do you interact. And no, you don't always have to, again, turn on a camera, but it is viable and usable and user-friendly for all of us if we were on this type of platform. Again, for those that have to be on a call, don't want to use video, all you need to do is tap into the Zoom platform and be able to engage in worship. Now, again, we're not negating the free conference call space, but again, if you look at what's happening right now, I'm holding up a phone to talk to some people when we really would want the ability for everybody to be part of what we're doing, either via audio or video, and for me not necessarily have to hold up a phone. Now, this is not only important for the church as we do worship, but it's important for our organizations, that we are going to have to begin to meet in on a Zoom platform. I appreciate those, the Missionary Society, other entities that want to use conference call line, but I'm going to push everybody again as we move into 2021, please begin to use a Zoom platform. That will give people the opportunity for not only video, but audio as well. The church has a Zoom account, and so if organizations and ministries need to schedule your meetings and host it on the church's platform, you can easily do that. But as we go into 2021, I want us to begin to take away the conference call line and begin to use the Zoom platform, which has a conference call aspect to it, but also has a video aspect. And the video aspect is crucial because I believe that many of us are dealing with the psychological warfare of missing one another, that COVID has created an absence within so many of us because we haven't been able to see, and I'm going to use her because I love her and I know she won't get mad because I use her, a person like Pat Hall. And so Zoom will provide us an opportunity where I'll be able to see Pat, or if not even see Pat, be able to at least hear Pat Hall, so I can at least feel again that we are not as totally disconnected as it may seem. And that is going to be our ministry pursuit in 2021, overcoming this separation that currently exists within so many of our ministries, our families, our communities because of COVID. We want to utilize the telephone. We want to utilize Zoom. We want to utilize all of this technology to really get rid of the gap that is occurring right now, the absence of seeing people and hearing people. So again, over the next 30 days, let's begin to look at Zoom. Let's begin to figure out what we need to do to get on a better platform so that we can totally and thoroughly engage and be able to see everyone. As many of you know, we do a monthly check-in with all of the membership of Lee on a Zoom platform. It's all of 7-10 minutes. People get to see and hear each other. We're going to do that again this first Sunday, this coming Sunday at 6 o'clock. That Zoom information will be out there and available. We want people to utilize that. Try it. Get on there, whether via video or whether on the phone. The other piece of this is, as we've been talking and we are working with the developers, it's just been a little bit slower and harder. We've been working on a church app, which many of you will be able to download on your phone, literally press it, download it on your tablet, and be able to press the app and be live in for worship. We're looking for, is there a way that we could possibly add a component in for meetings? We don't know if that's possible, but at least again, there is an app that you will be able to touch, press, and move forward in. Now, Sister Kathy Wilson raises a good point as I look down on my iPad that some people don't have phones and computers. We do realize that. And this is one of the reasons why we will always keep the conference call line open. But what we're going to have to do is, for those that don't, let us know who doesn't. Call into the church, email into the church, because we want to find a way where, again, we can bridge the gap. And sometimes bridging that gap means maybe we need to find a ministry where we're going to be nice and be a blessing, and maybe give some tablets to people so that they can remain. Tamika, what you saying? And you can still call on Zoom. Everybody should, even everyone has a phone line. And so you can always call on Zoom. But again, we want to figure out how do we bridge the gap. And we can only bridge those gaps when people are making us aware of how to bridge those gaps. And so to Sister Kathy Wilson, great question, great statement. But we want to be able to do the outreach. Some people are mentioning that some of us probably have some extra tablets and laptops that we could probably share with members who don't have them. And that's correct. That's, again, being in a positive framework where we can share what we have with others so that we as a church body can be connected. And so if there's any emphasis that we really want to make on today's session about reimagining and revisiting what we do at Lee, how do we bridge the gaps? How do we move from being absent from one another? And again, the sharing of technology, the sharing of equipment, the ability to understand if you take some steps forward, the church will take some steps forward. But we want to be able to do that. Another piece is many of us have a lot of free time. Some of us, not a lot of us, have free time on our hand. And we should really be reaching out to members. We have over 700, almost 800 members at Lee. This pastor by himself is not going to be able to call 800 members. I take a good amount of time to call members, leaders call members, but we all need to be a committee of one and reach out to people on behalf of the church and just say hi. See what they're in need of. See what we can do to help them, because there are some things that are going on at the church that people don't really know because of the absence and the gaps maybe in technology, and just sometimes the overall frustration and fatigue of COVID. And so many people don't even realize sometimes what's available because they're just so frustrated and tired. And so a call from you to a member, a call from you to a supporter, a friend of Lee might help them realize that I can be able to reconnect, re-engage with my church, and with the organizations and ministries that I have fallen in love with over my 10 years, 20 years, however many years it's been that you've been a member of Lee Memorial. And so we want to do that again, reconnecting, re-engaging, and utilizing technology in such a way. Kathy Easley says, I have a brand new Kindle tablet for anybody who needs it. And this is the type of outreach, this is the type of love, this is the type of initiative we need to do that. And so thank you for, and this is why we have the chat. People can talk in the chat, see what people are saying. Again, if you are in need of a tablet, Kathy easily says she's got one. And so she'll be glad to help you out. So again, re-engaging, reconnecting, that's all how we reimagine and revision Lee. We have to become a committee of the whole. This cannot be a pastor-led church, a officer-led church. That this has to be an everybody leads as we follow Jesus church. And so that we all are taking the necessary initiatives to move forward. And so I really want to thank everybody who's on the chat, who's already talking it up. And again, if you hear if you got any problems as we're talking, certainly let me know in the chat, and we will try to do our best to rectify that as we're on for the time that we're on this evening. But let's write those down. Re-engagement, reconnect. We're going to reimagine. We're going to have a revision of how we operate as Lee as we move into 2021. Again, this isn't going to happen overnight. How we managed through COVID didn't happen overnight. In a funny way, one of my nephews laughed at me during the after the holiday. He called me and said, Uncle Mike, I remember how you guys started at Lee during COVID, and to see how far the church has come now with its technology and with its media ministry can only be God. And I would agree, it can only be God. But I remember what it was like to Chris and to Tamika and to Chaz, how we started out. We were trying to figure out what's the best way that we can communicate, what's the best way we can have worship. And now to be at a place because of the love and support of people who are on the call tonight and on this on Facebook and watching us tonight, because of your commitment to your church. We literally now just walk into the church, turn on the lights, flip a switch, put people in their call positions, and we're able to broadcast with excellence and with effectiveness in such a way that it has drawn not hundreds but thousands now to our church ministry. And so if we keep on doing what we're doing, I believe God is going to truly bless us in abundance at Lee. But it is going to, again, I'm going back to this, it's going to take all of us to really do this. And you know, for members of Lee, how I am concerned about the mental strain and stress, the emotional strain and stress that are on so many of our members that feel disconnected. And so this is one way we do it. Another way that we do it is through the caravan, where we have gone and showed up at some of our members' homes and it was just good to see them and to bless them and to talk to them for a few minutes. That's another way. And so if you know of members, friends, supporters, because, you know, we're all one big family, people who we need to go out and see, send an email, call the church and leave their information, and we'll be glad to go out to them. But as we go out to them, I would like to see more of us go out. I want to thank the Sheltons and Diana Alexander, who are normally out with us. But there are so many of you who on a Saturday could go out with us for just an hour or two to re-engage, to reconnect with some of our members, to just stop by their homes and just see them. We're practicing social distancing. We're wearing masks. But our Saturday caravan is a way where we go out. And so I want you to notice that when you get your December calendar, the times that we are doing our our Saturday crusades, and you could take an hour of your time and just ride around with us and see some members who you would love to see. Haven't seen in a while. And I think about all of the people we were able to see. I'm glad we were able to stop by the Clemens household when we did. And so it made even more joyous Brother Arlen's homegoing celebration, because we were able to at least go out and to see them and to be with them periodically through our Saturday caravan. And so again, to help reconnect, to help re-engage, if you know people that we need to go out and see, please email, call the church. We'll be glad to go out. And again, we would like to see many of you go out with us as well for our media, for our outreach to so many of our members. This is a way we reimagine and revision Lee. This is not, oh, pastor's just talking about stuff we're doing. No, these things are going to become the normal. Let me say that again. What we're doing, how we're operating right now, is really going to become our new normal. And so we might as well get used to it. Saturday caravans, meeting like this. This is going to be part of our norm. And so if we understand that and begin to get that in our psyche and begin to get that in our spirit, and we start making it and understanding that it's a habit, developing it into a habit, it will be for the benefit of so many people. And so please, let's do that. Let's make that happen. Yeah, we're going to do the somebody mentioned doing a caroling caravan. Now, y'all don't want me to go out and sing. But if there are those of you that can go out and willing to sing, please let me know. Thank you, Sister Alicia Moore, for saying that. And I think that's a great idea in the month of December, how we go out with our Christmas caroling caravan on a few Saturdays. Great idea. This is one of the reasons why we're doing this tonight, to hear how people feel, get some great ideas from people, so that we can be a better church, not only to our members, again, to our supporters and friends, and let me add, to our neighbors, because we have to begin to love on Glenville. Say it one more time. We've got to begin to love even more on Glenville. I'm thankful for the outreach we've been able to do, the outreach we're doing, but I want us to go big in 2021. I want us to love on Glenville like Glenville's never been loved on. The level by which our families and our communities are being hit during this COVID season demands not necessarily the government, and I believe the government should do more, but really puts the onus on the church, because we are called to love. We are called to serve. And so one of the reasons why we've been doing the COVID and why we are getting ready to be a stationary COVID testing site for 6 weeks, the reason we did the food basket, the giveaway during Thanksgiving, the reason why we collected food items was because we know we needed to love on Glenville and love on the greater Cleveland community. It wasn't necessarily about Lee, it was about everybody else. And so I want to thank you for doing that. But in 2021, we've got to go big. We've got to be able to position ourselves to do more and do bigger and better things for the community. There are children that are in need, families that are in need. There are businesses in Glenville that are in need. And I you know, it's gonna happen. We're going to, and you can write this down and say that I said this on November 30th at 6:59 p.m. We are going to, when God is going to bless this church in such a way, we're going to be able to write some checks to some businesses to help them stay open. And whether it's $500 or $1,000 or $2,500, we're going to be in a position to be a blessing, because we know how good God has been to us individually and collectively as a church. But that's doing ministry. That's how you reimagine. That's how you revision. That's how you reconnect and reengage in this new normal. That we can't sit back and expect things to fall in our lap, but that we must do what Jesus said. We must go. Go ye therefore into all the world and make disciples. And so we've got to carry the love of Jesus, carry the love of Lee outward more than we're doing inward. And so I want to thank you in advance for what we're getting ready to do in 2021. It's going to be like gangbusters, but we're going to show some love to the community of Glenville as we move forward. So tonight was really about doing round one. It's about laying the groundwork. And again, we apologize for any technical difficulties and things of that nature, but this is what God wanted it to be for round one. And for me to just really speak from the heart about us being able to come together as a church body and really begin to wrap our arms around one another and around the community as we begin to look at doing ministry to the next level. Through Lee Memorial Church. And there are so many other things that we're going to be talking about over the next number of Mondays. And so as I asked everybody in worship who joined us virtually and joined us at our 105 campus yesterday, please take time to pencil in Mondays, next Monday, the 14th and the 21st. Put it on your calendar to be right back here at 6:30 p.m. so that we can continue to have these conversations, these candid conversations and talks about how we reimagine and revision. And over the next number of weeks, we're going to take care of some church business, but we're also going to talk about this revision and reimagine. Tamika, we're going to be here. We're going to talk about what it looks like and how it should impact not only us, not only the community, but how it should impact us spiritually and how important that is. Now, we are, y'all know what's getting ready to happen. Y'all from Cleveland, I'm from Philly, and so for me to be able to deal with snow on November 30th is a little crazy. But from what I understand, there's a snowstorm coming, so I need everybody to be prepared. Make sure you've got everything you need. If you are in trouble, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to call the church. Please don't hesitate to email the church at info@igotolee.org. We don't need anybody out there struggling, and we're going to do the best we can to help out with whatever people need. But I thank you in advance for everyone who has always chipped in, went the extra mile to help us be able to meet the needs of people as the needs come across the phone, the email, and the door of Lee Memorial. So thank you for that. But I want everybody to make sure you're home, you're safe. There is going to be no no praise and worship rehearsal, no music ministry rehearsal tomorrow. The church will be closed with the incoming snowstorm. We will look at possibly reopening on Wednesday, but that will be based upon the weather. So stay tuned for that. If we don't, we'll probably be right here again doing interactive Bible study right from here. But we want everybody to be safe tomorrow. If you don't have to travel, please don't. But again, if you are in need of anything, please let us know. Tamika, am I missing anything? Huh? And just our general, reach out to everybody to help. And if there are ideas, there are things that you believe would help us as we begin to reimagine and revisionally, write them down and be able to bring them into the chat when we come together next Monday to again talk about what we're doing and to do some more church business. Now let me say this, because probably on next week we're going to be involved in some church business. We're probably going to throw this into a Zoom format. We don't necessarily need to have all of our business out there, but we're probably going to throw this into a Zoom format so we make sure we'll get that information out to everybody. But these kind of candid talks about reimagining and revisioning, Lee, we don't mind having. There's nothing new under the sun, and we're just moving as God would have us to operate within this season here at Lee. And so, again, we thank everybody for being here, being on the call, being on Facebook, on the chat. We thank all of you for doing that. Spread the word, please, about how we're going to engage for the next number of Mondays as we continue to look forward. And again, we've got some major things that we really want to bring before all of you, and we're excited about so many of them. But again, this was just round number one. And again, we just really want to say thank you. We know how difficult this season is. We know how hard it is. But we thank you for being true servants of the Most High God and being adherent to God's word, God's way, and God's spirit. We are blessed. We are a blessed people. We've been able to still do the things that we've been doing thus far. and I believe God really has been pleased. And certainly I think I would be remiss if two groups, really three groups, let me give shout out to the officers. Thank you for your leadership. To the ministerial staff, thank you for your leadership and participation. And thank you to our media ministry, from Chris on down to Rodney, everybody, Quali, everybody who's been engaged, to Nick and Michelle, everybody, Ron, everybody who's been engaged. Thank you for the media ministry for making things happen. It has made homegoing celebrations a lot easier, as we were able to stream them. But worship has been a lot easier, Bible study a lot easier for us to engage. And we now, again, must be a committee of one as we're asking everybody to reach out to everybody, and literally lead as we go to the next level. All right, we've been on for 36 minutes. This week was about laying a foundation. Again, thank you everybody for being on. Thank you for all the comments that were in the chat. Wait, babe, what'd you say? Yeah, Kathy, pull your phone number down. We don't want you inundated with folk calling you. Pull it down, and anybody who needs to get in contact with Kathy, we'll get you in contact with Kathy. Just email or call the church, and we'll get you in contact with email. But Kathy, we don't want you bombarded like that. Sorry, I'm reading the text messages. This is real-time information. This is what we do here at Lee. As many of you know, we're going to open up our COVID testing site. And so we are going to begin testing on Monday. I know we've got it up for Saturday, but we are going to have to pull that back. Number one, because of the weather, but two, I just got a text. We need to do upgrade our heating system over in the multi-purpose hall. So there's a couple of things we need to do. Thank you, Walt, Brother Hodge, and Mr. Scott. I'm reading y'all text as I'm getting it. And so we're going to push that back. We will begin starting testing at Lee Memorial on Monday morning at 10 a.m. in our multi-purpose hall. So that's real time, real information. And again, thank you, officers, for making that happen. I know we've had an issue over there in the multi-purpose hall, but thank you for that updated text messages. I really, really do appreciate it. Again, we love y'all. Anybody in need, certainly email, call the church. Everybody be safe and warm. We will see everybody for Wednesday Bible study. Please don't forget about prayer in the morning. And let me remind you of this, because I just know that it is important. Tomorrow, we are working along with the 3rd Episcopal District, which obviously we are a member of, but we are in a major pursuit to help bless Wilberforce University. And so on tomorrow, at 8 p.m., and I want you to post this to all of your social media platforms. I need you to get this information out, that tomorrow is fundraising Tuesday. It is normally a really huge day in doing fundraising for nonprofits. And tomorrow we want to join with so many others across the country and really across the world as we look to raise $100,000 in one day for Wilberforce University. Now, you know, I got some affinity with Wilberforce. I live with a woman who graduated from Wilberforce. Our parents graduated from Wilberforce. My great uncle, Bishop David Sims, gave significant money to Wilberforce and Payne when he was a bishop. And so we want to do this. So post this. Can everybody do me a favor? Post this to your social media accounts. Let's get people on tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. and help raise money for Wilberforce. I believe we can do this, raising $100,000 in one day. I just know that we can, and Wilberforce is a great institution, and we need to do the best we can to really provide scholarships for so many young people who really deserve them. And this is an AME school. We need to make that happen. And so please do that. Get that information out. And I will be grateful, and so will the people of Wilberforce. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Be blessed, be safe, be warm, and we will see you tomorrow morning for prayer, and we will see you on Wednesday for our 12 noon interactive Bible study. Oh yeah, and we're going to see a whole lot of you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. as we raise money for Wilberforce University. All right, be blessed. Have a great night.